Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the Love Shreveport podcast. We're excited this month. We are talking to a few ladies because it's Women's History Month, and we're talking to them about telling the story. They are women that have told a story or have told story or is telling the story of people in the community. But today, we want to talk to them as they tell their story. Today, we have the legendary Miss Liz Swaine. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling pretty legendary. Thank you for saying that.
You're very welcome. Listen, we're excited to have you.
Thank you.
You've been such a great role model in our community, and we're just excited to be able to have you on our Love Shreveport podcast.
I'm thrilled to be here. I think this is great. I think just sharing those positive things about Shreveport, it's something we all need to be doing more of.
Of course, of course. Now, you've come from Florida. You came from Florida,
I did.
And now you're in Shreveport. Tell us a little bit about that and the transition from Florida to Louisiana.
A lot of people probably know that I came to Shreveport to work in television. I worked at KTBS for 17 years and loved almost every minute of it. Telling stories, you're talking about the stories. Well, it was the story of Shreveport in northwest Louisiana, South Arkansas, and parts of Oklahoma and Texas. And, really did enjoy my time. Came here for that job from Florida. It was a great opportunity for a great job at a wonderful station, never intending to stay.
Wow.
I didn't know a soul here. When I moved to Shreveport, did not know one person other than the folks at the TV station where I had interviewed. Had never been here prior to coming to apply for the job.
Wow.
Knew nothing about this part of the country. And really, most television people are on their way someplace else. They come, they stay a few years, they learn skills and tricks of the trade, and then they move up. Well, I fell in love with this place. I fell in love with my job. I fell in love with Shreveport, with the people, with the possibility of Shreveport, and decided to make it my home.
Wow. Well, we are so excited that you made Shreveport your home. So tell us a little bit about this career path that you came down.
Well, I started in television, and all through the 17 years that I worked at Channel 3, one of the things that I was most interested in was politics and how government works. Because when government works well, it is a positive influence on everything around it. When government doesn't work particularly well, it's just the opposite is true. It's a negative influence. And I loved getting the opportunity to report on politics and government, and then I had the opportunity to actually work in government. So when Mayor Keith Hightower was elected in 1998, he asked if I would come on board and be a part of his administration, and I was for his 8 years in office. 2 terms, term limited. At the end of 8 years, he went to the House, and I went to my next job, which was in corporate communications for Calumet Lubricants. And then, a few years after that, had the wonderful opportunity to come and be a part of what I consider to be our dynamic downtown as part of the Downtown Development Authority and Downtown Shreveport Development Corporation, and have been here ever since.
Wow, so you've done a lot since you've been here. How many years have you been here?
I've been here since the early 80s.
Wow.
So that is 143 years in dog years.
In dog years.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So do you have family?
I have a husband
Okay.
who I met and married here in Shreveport.
Wow.
And he is wonderful. And I have 3 children, but they're furry. They're dog children, and love them very much, and have lots of friends and relatives. And my brother, one of my brothers who lived in Florida, has actually joined me in Shreveport.
Wow.
For so many years he heard me say such wonderful things about Shreveport and why he needed to be here, and a few years ago he up and moved here and lives in Highland now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're bringing family from Florida
I'm
to
bringing
Shreveport.
people in.
You're causing Shreveport to grow, right?
There you go. They know
So-
that I'm here, they can get a good meal.
Of course. We have some of the best food, right?
Yes, we do.
Is it better than Florida?
Uh-huh.
So what is who is your biggest aspiration?
When I look back at those people who have meant something in my life, I'm sure you probably heard this before, and it may sound a little bit trite, but my mother was a remarkable woman. Oh. My mother was born in an era that women did not have a lot of opportunities. She was actually born in the 1920s. So, that's a lot of years ago, and she's passed away. She passed away a number of years ago, but she was 39 years old and my father was 47 when I was born. Holy smokes, and so she told me stories about her growing up. And at that point, women had choices, but relatively few choices. You could be a school teacher, you could be a nurse, you could be a wife. There weren't a lot of professional avenues other than that. And some of those professions that women could be in, they couldn't be married and be in them. So if you chose a profession, like in some places, if you were a teacher, you couldn't be married and be a teacher, or you might not be able to be a professional and be married. And so she tried to choose the best of both worlds and had to put her aspirations on hold, and had 3 children, and was a wonderful and caring mom. But, felt like she had always, had she been born in a different era, she would have had many more opportunities. And she really pounded that into me. Be what you want to be. Go where you want to go. Don't let anybody stop you. The era has changed. You can do it now. Don't not do something just because somebody's telling you you can't. And I took that to heart. And I really appreciate having a parent who told me those things as I was growing up, because I believed them and took off.
Now, we saw you, and I used to watch you on television all the time,
Thank
right?
you.
So
Thank you.
What was your drive for television? Why that?
Well, television I love because I've always loved being a writer. If people ask me all the time, are you an artist? I hang around artists a lot, and I go, holy smokes, I can't, draw anything for the life of me, but boy, can I write. Wow. And I've always loved being a journalist. That is something that really nurtures me. I love being able to tell people the story, to take them places that they might not be able to go through words and through, of course, in television, through pictures, to open doors that they might not be able to open. And that's what good journalism is all about. It casts light into areas of darkness. It gives people the information that they need to be able to make the very best choice that they can make for themselves and their family and their community. And I took that really very seriously.
Wow. So you loved it, and there's some other young ladies inspiring to do some of the things that you did.
Yes.
What would be some of the advices that you would give to those younger ladies that are coming up?
My advice, I think, is for any young woman, and really any young person who wants to do something with their life and to go down a path of, I don't want to say greatness, but a path where your life will make a difference. And because ultimately that's what we all want to do. We want to be able to live this life and have people say, she left it better, or he, did things that has made our life and our place a better place to be. Because that's how we'll be judged.
Of course.
That's how we'll be remembered. And so, but I would tell young people, you've got to work for it.
There it is.
You can't watch it on YouTube. You can't, I love HGTV and all these home shows that make you think that you can rehab a house in 1 hour. Right? That is not how it works.
Right.
So if there is something you want to do, you got to grab it by the neck and shake it. Yeah. Shake it like a dog shaking a bone. You got to learn everything you can about it, talk to people who've done it, find a mentor if you can, do it. The more you do it, the better you get at it, but it's a process. Don't give up, and it's not easy. It's never easy. Right. The old adage, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Right. Well, that's a good one. But the other one is, you just got to keep at it. Just got to keep at it.
You mentioned a mentor. Who was your mentor?
When I came to Shreveport, there were several people who had been in television longer than I had. And, I was constantly asking them questions. There was a woman who's still at KTBS named Jan Elkins, who was always wonderful about sharing her understanding of television, the way things worked. There were people on a national level who I never met personally, but I would read everything I could about them. Read their memoirs, listen to interviews on television, try to grab little nuggets of information from them and put those to work in my life. And I remember there used to be a man on on ABC named Ted Koppel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ted Koppel is a very famous journalist, and you know, he used to talk about the fact that he would get lots and lots of fan mail, but then he would get a lot of hate mail as well. Mm-hmm. And this was even back in the days before journalists were the target of such distrust and hate as they are now. And so this one story, he was particularly beaten up. You know, people just did not like the way he reported it. And he got this letter, back when people wrote letters, he got this letter from this guy in Midwest, and it said, don't let the fill in the blank word that I'm not going to say on TV, don't let the blanks get you down. And he took that letter and he put it on his wall, and anytime, you know, he was having an especially bad day, he would read that letter and he would remember, I can't let, you know, setbacks stop me from my goal. So you just keep rolling.
Keep going, keep going. So fast forward a little bit, 10 years from now, where do you see Miss Liz Swaine?
Sitting under a tree with my dogs. And
on the beach somewhere, huh?
Maybe. I sunburn really easily. I don't know that I want to be there. But I don't know so much where I want to be in 10 years, but I'll tell you where I want downtown Shreveport to be in 10 years.
Sure.
I want downtown Shreveport to be the place that we all aspire for downtown Shreveport to be. And everybody has a vision of what they want it to be. They want it to be lively. They want it to be vibrant. They want it to be colorful and exciting, with shops to go in and places to eat and things to do and more places to live. And you know, we've all seen the photographs of what downtown Shreveport was like in the 1940s and the 1950s and the 1920s. I mean, none of us were around them, but we've seen those photographs, and we've talked to the elders around the campfire about the fact that they would always come downtown to shop and to eat, and this is where it was. Everything changed around the country. It wasn't just downtown Shreveport that went on the skids. It wasn't just here. It was every place around the country. Suddenly, the place to be was the suburbs. Everything shifted outward, and it's continued to do that. You know, when we look now at our boundaries of Shreveport, it's miles and miles and miles and miles and miles, and it used to be this. It used to be this. And so in 10 years, Shreveport, downtown Shreveport is going to be the place that people want to come, where they want to hang out and socialize, where they want to start a business and work and live and party. And we're getting there. We are getting there. We're getting there one building, one business at a time right now.
Wow. So if you had to narrow it down to one word, if you could, why do you love Shreveport so much? What's the one thing?
I'm going to say inclusiveness. But here's what I mean by it. I think everybody ascribes different meanings to that word, right? You probably look in the dictionary and it's got 3 or 4 or 5 different meanings. But here's what I mean by it. When I came to Shreveport and I didn't know a soul, and people had every right not to trust me or like me or welcome me in because they did not know me at all.
Yes.
I had not proved myself. They didn't know whether I was trustworthy. They didn't know if I was crazy. They probably still don't. You know, I'm just saying, I don't know. But they welcomed me in. And they said, we are going to give you this opportunity. And we are going to, you're either going to make it or you're going to break it, right? We'll give you the opportunity to show what you can do, and then you've got to prove to us that you can. I'm good with that. Just give the opportunity, right? We'll show. We'll either do it or we won't.
Exactly.
And even if we don't do it, we'll realize we need more training in something. We need to go back and plan a little better, learn a little more, you know, prepare a little more, and then come back and we'll try again. But that making me feel like I belonged here, that I had an opportunity to make this a place that I could make a difference, that means a lot, and you don't find it everywhere. You just don't.
You're exactly correct. And so we're excited that you came by today, and of course, you know, we know time is valuable, and you're giving us your time to tell us your story as you've done so well for so many others. So tell everybody how they can find you. Are you on social media or?
I feel like I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
I jokingly tell people that downtown they can just go stand out on the street corner and scream my name, and I'll probably hear them. So let me tell you the different ways that you can get hold of me.
Sure.
And I would love for people to reach out in any of these ways that they can. The Downtown Development Authority has a website that is wonderful. It's downtownshreveport.com. And you go on it, you can see events, you can read news, you can find out about us, you can see real estate for sale, all sorts of things. We have an e-blast that I just finished writing today. It goes out every Thursday. All you have to do is send us your email address. You get on our e-blast list. It comes into your mailbox, or you can go to the Shreveport DDA Facebook page and click sign up on that page. It's a great resource. We have the Shreveport DDA Facebook page, the Downtown Shreveport Facebook page. We have a YouTube channel. We are lightly on TikTok, but not wholly on TikTok yet. And we're on Instagram as well.
Awesome.
I'm at Cool Downtown and Liz in Downtown. And so we try to be places where people are. Come by our shop at 416 Cotton and take a look around. We would encourage you to. We're always promoting events, and we've got a lot of them coming up, a lot of art related and culture related and business related and food related and all those things that are wonderful in Louisiana and Shreveport, right? So we encourage people to take part in all of them.
Awesome. Thank you again so much. We definitely appreciate you for coming.
Thank you.
And of course, this is another episode of Love Shreveport Podcast. We're interviewing ladies, women that have told stories, and we're learning about their stories. So again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Love Shreveport TV. Also, follow us on our social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Facebook, City of Shreveport Government, and it has the blue check. Also on Instagram, City of Shreveport, it has the blue check. And then, of course, on Twitter, at Love Shreveport 1. All right. Thank you again. We'll hope to see you soon.